Hi, this is Sam with the RG Reviews, and tonight I am bringing you a Rossi 44 Magnum. The actual model designation is the R44102, but most people will just call it a Rossi 44 Magnum since it's pretty much the only one they really do. I picked this up at a popular sporting goods store. I'm not going to mention them by name, but you can get them for $369, brand new. And it comes with a lifetime manufacturer warranty for repairs, so I assume that's pretty much any parts breakages or probably timing issues, which is the most likely thing to go wrong with a revolver over time. This revolver is a 5-shot. I'll do a safety check there. 5-shot. It's double action, single action, which I really like. It's got a fiber optic front sight, fixed rear sight, Taurus security system, which basically there's a little key. Let me grab it here. And it basically allows you to lock the firearm to where no one can use it. And I will show you. I don't really ever use these. There's no point for me. I don't have anybody I need to lock out of my gun when it's not in a safe. But you stick it in there. It's basically like an Allen wrench with a hole in it, and it won't even let you pull the hammer back. You can't pull the trigger or pull the hammer back. So you could do that if you wanted to leave this in your vehicle or something like that, just as another step of, in case someone does get a hold of it. But I digress. Let's continue. This weighs just about 2 pounds. Which it makes it really light for a 44 Magnum. It features a really nice grip. You'll see these on some Tauruses. If it didn't have this grip, I think the recoil would be a lot different. And for it being kind of a light 44 Magnum, other than some titanium models, I was really worried about the recoil. I ran 50 rounds of some 180 grain PMC and 5 rounds of some Hornady 240 grain XTP through this one setting. That was the first time I shot it, and I was very anxious on that first couple trigger pulls. The first one wasn't too bad, so the second one I was a little less anxious, and then I finally got in the groove of it, and it's a manageable recoil even for a 2-inch barrel. Now you're not going to be getting the same velocity out of your rounds out of a 2-inch barrel. There's going to be probably at least 150 feet per second drop. And I'll also talk a little bit about the 44 mag round. I'm going to save that probably for another video of just where it came from, things like that. But on this, the idea behind this for me was a nice trail gun to take with me when I go camping and hiking and fishing and things like that. Instead of having to take my shotgun, which I do still take my shotgun. It's another viable option, but this is just something I can carry with me comfortably and not draw some attention to myself if I come across any of the hikers or anything like that. As far as what this can take down in the wild, these 44 Magnum has been a pretty versatile round, and it has a whole bunch of different loadings. They were saying that at the highest loading, they said it performed better with slow burning powder. At a high loading, you could kill pretty much any North American game. I would not really want to take this up against something like a grizzly bear, but if that's all I had, I would definitely. There are worse calibers and worse firearms to have in that situation. For me, this is intended more for a hog gun. That's the kind of animals I might be encountering. Some feral hogs, maybe a brown bear, depending on where I'm camping. But I haven't seen one up close yet. I have seen a couple mountain lions. Coyotes, things of that nature, but coyotes really aren't anything to worry about. But basically, this is a really nice little package for a 44 Magnum. You can't really touch 44 mags for under $450, and that's just the facts. And they're putting this out for $369, and it's also got a lifetime warranty for repairs, which most of the time is going to be timing issues, maybe something over time is going to get worn out. So it is nice that it's a lifetime warranty. I'm going to discuss just the trigger bar basically in here. This is a single action, double action, as I mentioned earlier, and let me just demonstrate that trigger pull real quick. This is that single action, it's real smooth, and then the double action, super duper smooth for a double action revolver. But part of the trigger system is this transfer bar. It basically allows for drop safety, which means that if you drop your gun, it's not going to go off. This gun can really only go off if the trigger is pulled because of the transfer bar. Basically, instead of the hammer hitting the firing pin, it hits the transfer bar, which then hits the firing pin only after the trigger actually puts the transfer bar in the correct position to hit the firing pin. If the trigger is not pulled, the transfer bar will not be hit in the correct position, and it will not hit the firing pin, striking the primer of the round. And to let this down, there's no decocker on this. Grab a hold of the hammer, pull your trigger very slowly, let the hammer down, and practice that, because you might want to get proficient at doing that, just in case. Because if the hammer's back, you cannot open the cylinder and take a round out. That's just not an option. So you gotta. I would do that without rounds in it first. That's just some revolver etiquette there. As I mentioned, it has a really nice fiber optic sight, and this thing really is sweet. I really enjoy it. Real clear on dark. I was using silhouette targets, real clear on that. Pretty much a good little night sight too. I've seen a couple different reviews on this, and a complaint people had is that it's a fixed rear sight. You can't adjust it. To me, for this gun, this is an up close and personal kind of ordeal. You know, this is not one of those guns that I would be taking or try to take 100-yard shots with. You're gonna get like 6 inches worth of drop at 100 yards out of like a standard 6-inch 44 mag. So out of the 2-inch barrel, I mean, this is really an up close and personal gun. This fits a concealed carry holster very well. This is let me just demonstrate. This is my CZ75 P01. This is my daily carry gun. It has a crimson trace. Probably do a little something over this gun and why I carry it. It is clear. And this also features a decocker like I was talking about earlier. But let's continue on about this. The same holster. This is actually I believe a ProTech holster. These things are awesome. You can find them for like $13. But the same holster that holds my CZ75 P01 will comfortably hold the Ruger 44 mag, and I am able to conceal this. I don't recommend carrying a 44 mag as you're concealed unless you live in a rural area and you might be running into wildlife. That's not a round you really want to be messing around with and trying to risk over penetration, because believe me, it will do that. It's a pretty impressive round. There have been reports of these things killing polar bears, even being effective against elephants in Africa. I mean, the 44 mag is just a very versatile round, and if you're in the market for one and you don't have $500, $600, $700 to drop on one, this is a very viable option. And like I said, just the overall package. One thing I am kind of disappointed about, in Rossi's manual, it doesn't talk about the 44 mag. And I assume the parts are probably very similar, if not the exact same as like the 357. But I mean, it doesn't talk about it at all, and I'm not very happy about that. You know, you would assume it'd be in there. It does talk about sight picture and things like that, in case you didn't know. If it had adjustable sights. So this makes me think they just put a general manual in their gun. There's the Taurus security system. Yeah. Speed loaders for this. You can get speed loaders for this. The same speed loaders that work for the 44 mag or Taurus 44 Magnum will work for this, and you could probably pick them up for like between $10 and $12, if not cheaper. You know, if you have to get to a reload with this and you have to use a speed loader, you probably got some serious issues. Because if you throw 5 shots of 44 mag at something and it's not just a regular. No, I don't even want to use regular, because nothing like that's regular. Let's just say it's a self-defense scenario and you use all 45 of those and you have time to do that. That dude's probably gone or on the ground, and if he's not, and he's still shooting at you, you got some serious issues. So having the speed loaders is probably cool to have laying around, but effective, are you really gonna be in the opportunity to use those? I don't know. Like I said, if you're looking for a good little trail gun, something to keep in your backpack or keep on you. This thing is a nice size. It's got manageable recoil, a really smooth trigger pull, very nice sight, very accurate. I was doing pretty well with it at the range for about 10 yards. I've definitely shot worse revolvers, or I've shot revolvers worse, I should say. I'd compare this to, I mean, the Smith & Wessons that I've shot very easily. It might not be the prettiest thing, but I mean, it's very smooth, I can say that. But I'm gonna cut this review a little short tonight. I don't have very much else to say about this. Oh yeah, once again, you can buy all kinds of ammo for this. They even make the shot shell stuff in case, you know, you're coming across snakes and things like that. So this really is versatile as far as cartridges. Hornady XTP, 240 grain, and then there's the 180 grain PMC. I can't remember if I mentioned this already, but it will run 44 special. And just a little bit about the origin of the 44 mag. It actually came from a man playing around with 44 special rounds. Instead of moving up to the 45 long Colt round, he wanted to experiment with different 44 special loads, and that along came the 44 Magnum. And oh, I forgot to hit on the carbines you can get with this. Ruger makes a really nice deer field. There's all kinds of lever actions out there. People will complain about the recoil on the Ruger Deerfield carbine, but as far as a pistol rifle pair, that 44 mag is really, it is an impressive pair. Once you start throwing 44 mag out of like a 16-inch barrel, people have recorded up to like 1,650 feet per second on 240 grain standard 44 Magnum rounds, and I mean that's pretty cool. You're talking about a lot of energy, and I mean a really fast moving 40 caliber round. And once you have that pair, you know, if those are your trail guns, if you hunt or things like that, or you just basically do basic survival stuff, and you know you want to go with 44 mag, that's such a cool option to have. And that goes along with 357 revolvers and 357 lever actions. Pretty much all those revolver calibers and calibers that can be paired up with carbines. That's just so awesome that it works out that way. But I'm kind of rambling on, which I tried not to do. I don't really have too much to say more about this. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. Appreciate your views. Appreciate your comments. Once again, great value. Great value. And you can find this. These are not uncommon guns. Let us know what kind of guns you'd like to see coming up. We're going to be getting more into tactical gear, and I try to stay out of that area just because the tactical gear stuff, I don't get a lot of chances to go out and play around on land and, you know, have an open range where I can do different things with my firearms. So I might not be the best experience in talking about that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of easing my way into it. I do have quite a bit to look at, quite a bit to review. Black Hawk vests, a lot of military surplus, a lot of military issue items from different countries, just some different really cool things. But we always appreciate your views. We appreciate your comments. You guys have been awesome lately, and look forward to seeing more reviews coming out in the near future.